I was in a rut. Financially, I was unable to go to school. I had 3 jobs, and I was completely haunted by my potential.
I felt like straight out of high school, I was like a puppet on strings, and then the strings get cut, and then as soon as you can't dance anymore, it's your fault for doing it. I was directionless. I didn't know what to do.
It came to a point where you ask yourself, is this something you want to do for the rest of your life? And I told myself that's not something I would want to do.
I have a son, and he's 2, and I don't want to cry, but it gets really hard, and it's scary, you know, and you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for someone else.
The skills gap is a word that we use to describe the massive challenge in this country. I mean, you have an estimated 12 million jobs that will go unfulfilled in the next 10 years because we don't have the skilled labor to fill those jobs. But at the same time, you've got more than 6 million young people between the ages of 18 and 24 who are out of work, don't have more than a high school degree. They are not untalented, right? So you have this incredible supply and demand mismatch of skills. What's going to win in the 21st century? It's knowledge, it's skills. And we know we have a gap there.
You guys all look wonderful. You are my first class at Europe, right? I'm proud of each of you.
Europe is a national nonprofit organization that serves low-income 18 to 24-year-olds. And in 1 year, we enable those young adults to go from poverty to a professional career. And we do that by combining 6 months of intensive training and 6 months of an internship in one of about 250 companies across the country.
The interns that are going to AB, formerly known as Alliance Bernstein. Corral Nixon.
Camara E. Bank.
Joselle Durant.
Murphy Martinez.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
Congratulations.
They're becoming a pipeline of hireable talent that those companies need to close their own skills gaps and to drive their own businesses forward.
Going to Bank of America Merrill Lynch, man. Yes. I can't do nothing but rejoice.
So I did say we were going to finish working on some of our computers, so I want you guys to come up and help finish working on your systems that you were building. Okay.
The skills gap has in part been driven by huge technological change. We're in the midst of a knowledge-based industrial revolution.
We've been in a period of rising demand for skilled labor, which is because we have, on the one hand, replaced a lot of physical labor, a lot of dexterous labor, and on the other hand, created new opportunities for people who can engineer stuff, who can write, express, analyze, communicate, and so on.
Okay, so you have the power supply. What are the other components you need?
SATA hard drive.
As a student comes to Europe, we now introduce him to careers in technology, in finance, quality assurance testing, Java programming, desktop help desk support. These are careers where you can grow in over time. And our students, I don't think, had either the awareness of or the access to those jobs in the past.
A high school graduate, as you must be to be in Europe. I used to do a lot of retail. I've done work at McDonald's and Bloomingdale's and just a lot of different things. And I started to become a security guard. And I actually had thoughts to myself, like, I feel like a slave because I'm sitting in this room, I'm standing in this room, and there's supposed to be people who I'm guarding. But at a certain time, everyone would leave that place, and I'd still be forced to stand. They would not let me sit down, so I'm just standing in a corner like this. That was it. So I feel like I wanted a job where I could give something back. Like, I just felt like I was talented, and the world would never know.
We know in this country today that talent is distributed evenly, yet opportunity is not. You see increasing inequality in distressed zip codes across this country.
The U.S., on the scale of Western economies, has very high inequality and very low mobility. Kids going to poor schools, living in, dangerous neighborhoods, they are off to such a disadvantaged start that how are they going to accomplish as much as a kid from middle class or an upper middle class household?
Yo, hold up. Did we pay the Wi-Fi?
You haven't paid us since ever. There's bills we literally have never paid.
$17 each.
You owe me a bank account and say you got $30. Oh man, you definitely gotta pay the gas bill though, and the electric bill.
I mean, the gas, that could wait a little bit, wait till they come.
They calling grandma talking about we gonna come pick up the meter.
Do they have a key to the house?
No.
Then we all safe.
But grandma said she gonna let him in. She's like, you gonna pay your bill, I'm gonna let him in. Watch, you gonna have no heat.
I feel like as kids, out of all of us, Chris was always extremely smart. He could always
test grades in school,
test
12th
grades,
grade, reading in like 5th, 6th
skip
grade.
the grade, so he was always that kid, as far as in our family or what have you. So as soon as he tapped into it, now you see the jewel that he is. But it took time for him to tap into it because the surroundings.
It's hard out here, and I feel like the world beat my brother down. Like, it really beat my brother down, and he needed something to help him get on the right path, because in high school, he had teachers telling him that he wasn't going to do this, that he wasn't going to do that. He had a whole bunch of outer sources just telling him that you can't do this, but meanwhile, he's a kid. He's a kid with a lot of light in him, and I see that in him every day. I just wanted everybody else to see it.
So my department, we focus on the background data. For instance, an advertising team in our company may need to create a pitch for Barbie. And my job would be to gather all the information I can about how is the overall population feeling about Barbie so that I can give that information to the advertising team and they can then create a pitch that's just perfect and blows them away. So I take a lot of pride in the work that I do.
I will be honest about my own biases. I was like, well, what type of intern are we getting? Because we are conditioned that our interns are going to come from XYZ college with XYZ background. So I will say that I came to this, admittedly, with some skepticism.
We created an Excel file that keeps us updated on everybody's ask, what people are.
But Chris came in fully suited up. He came in every day. One of the first people here, last ones to leave, immediately got signals from the team within the first few days that he was, a strong performer.
All right, sounds good. So we send you an email.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Bye.
A year ago today, I had no idea what this world was about. I had no idea what was public relations, really. So I knew what my skill set was. I'm a great communicator. I've always been a great math student. And just learning more about it and learning what I can add to it, I feel like it's definitely a great fit for me.
As an agency, we do have standard hiring procedure is to hire someone who, has a college background. I just think it's unfortunate that usually most people can't get past the door without the paper. I was honest with him early on that, we may only be able, that the end of this engagement, what success could look like, may just be a letter of recommendation. It may not result in a job.
And when she was giving her thing, I was like, I bet my mom knows who this is.
I did. Thank you.
Let's group up Sabrina now.
I'm so excited and so proud of Christopher. I know I'm going to be crying, so hopefully you'll catch me before the tears start. But it's just a very momentous time for both of us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Christopher Hilliard, and I'm honored to be here representing the 18th graduating class of Year Up New York. The thing I've learned during my year up is to always see the bigger picture. Yes, we have grown as a country, but there's still more that we can do. Why is there such a big gap between the haves and the have-nots? Why is there such a blatant opportunity divide? There are barriers that keep us from accessing the opportunities that allow us to thrive. My fellow graduates and I, we represent the potential of the overlooked talent. We represent what happens when you give that young person that opportunity. My name is Christopher Hilliard, and last year this time, I was an out-of-work security officer. Today is a different story. I'm enrolled in college. I just interned and was hired at Weber Shandwick. And above all else, I'm a proud graduate of Class 18, Year Up New York. Thank you. I want to move up in the company that I'm with. I want to be an executive. So that's the real goal. I'm in school, so I'm enrolled in BMCC. I'll be starting this month. It's really exciting.
Christopher's success is his success. It was less than a year, right? And a young person is going out of poverty and into a good job they can live on and sustain their families.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the class of January 2016.
It is humbling that it takes that little to enable a person to be successful, and it's a little bit embarrassing that this country doesn't do more of that for many, many young people.
There's no words. I'm really proud. At the end, I just realized, like, wow, he did it. They did it as a group, and it's just, I feel really happy and really proud. You did great. Your speech was awesome.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.